Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got the Digital Chamber of Commerce and regulated platforms, executive order promises. How about crypto or shadow banking? We're going to get into that. And judges, summary judgment versus private settlement. What? Well, we're going to talk about that. And XRP bullish trend. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen, and Facebook Perspectives News right here, or Digital Perspectives News on Facebook, and Dig Perspectives on Twitter. Give us a follow there. $1.747 trillion market cap. We're off by 4.84%. It is March 10th, 2022. Let's get into this very quickly. 39,200 plus for Bitcoin currently right now. 6.63% down on the 24-hour, 7.24 on the 7-day. So you can see most of those losses in the last 24. $2,600 plus for Ethereum and XRP right now, back at the number 7 spot, 73 cents. And we see that we're over 3.5% on the downside today. 73 cents on the bottom, 78 cents on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. Don't forget, at some point, this case is going to end with the Ripple and the SEC. And don't forget, when it does, Ripple intends to IPO with the exact market regulator that is suing them. And when they do, you're not going to be able to get Ripple anymore because it will make a public exit just like Coinbase did. So make sure if you wanted to go to link2.com, put a link underneath the video. This is a stark reminder right here. And I tell you, just like Zero Hedge says, at least people will start walking again, showing gas prices and God knows where at $7.35. That'll have you walking like you got tacks in your shoes. Looks like I'll be checking the air in those bike tires. Take a look at this. This is the Digital Chamber of Commerce, who won't answer us on why they've shown zero support or acknowledgement to John Deaton and the 65,000 XRP holders in the class action lawsuit. But you know what? She does have something good to say here. It's relevant. Let's take a listen right here. And hopefully, Perry Ann Boring will answer all of us at some point. Check it out.
There's a number of reasons why crypto is not the currency of choice for Russia to evade sanctions. As far as we can tell, it's not a part of their strategy. Since as far back as 2014, when Russia entered Crimea, they have been working to sanction-proof their economy, and they've been diversifying capital into a number of different asset classes, most notably the Chinese yuan and gold. But the best we can tell, crypto is not a part of their strategy or has not played a role to
understand that, but in other words, you're not worried, or you think that this move afoot by, ours isn't the only government looking at doing this, so that this is something that could be a serious headwind for cryptocurrency investors?
Yeah, I mean, further, crypto is traceable and it's trackable, and eventually these transactions, they're going to flow through regulated platforms like...
Oh, there we go. And listen to what she says. They're going to flow through regulated platforms.
Crypto exchanges.
Like crypto exchanges. That's the part I wanted you to hear right there. And the reality is that most of these exchanges are regulating themselves because they're not registered with the SEC, right? And certainly not in the way that Gary Gensler wants them to. But this reminded me of this clip. Let me give you this clip because of where we're going to go and think about what's going on. Hear this clip now, understanding that the executive order is telling us that they're going to embrace crypto. It's not going away. America recognizes that they're not the leader in the fourth industrial revolution, but they're going to be. That's what the executive order is basically saying. And they point out that when it comes to financial stability, systemic risk, or whether we're talking about cross-border payments, we got to be talking about this too. Because if you're going to regulate the exchanges, whether you go through the SEC or some other market regulator, honestly, I think the exchanges need to be regulated just like we see NASDAQ regulated, or just like the NYSE regulated. Now, if they come up with a different agency that does that, fine. If it's a CFTC, fine. If it's the SEC, whatever. Just as long as these assets are allowed to continue to grow into their full scale intended use, XRP included, right? But listen very carefully to what Ashish Birla says, because Ripple Liquidity Hub, I feel, and the XRP decentralized ledger are going to play an important role in these platforms being regulated. Because if these platforms have to source their liquidity for transactions of crypto by plugging into the XRP ledger, that could be a very, very streamlined way for the market regulator to begin to police the highway of the XRP ledger, the decentralized exchange, just the way you would a way station, just the way a cop would sit on the highway and check for radar and see who's speeding and who isn't, what transactions look suspicious versus which do not. This aligns, in my mind, with what we've heard Brian Brooks and Chris Giancarlo also say, where market regulators need to get from the mindset of regulating entities to regulating activities. And this starts to take shape of that in my mind, especially with the executive order. Take a listen.
Don't steal my thunder, because I want to get into what corporations should or should not be doing right now with crypto. But as part of Liquidity Hub, is that trading? Is there a trading component too?
Well, underpinning liquidity is the buy and sell. And the definition of liquidity is the buy and sell. So we offer an interface that enables enterprises to buy and sell crypto. So you can think of us as an integrator and an aggregator across a number of exchanges. If you're familiar with Kayak or Google Flights, it's sort of an integrator across a number of different travel websites. Think about Liquidity Hub as aggregating crypto liquidity across a number of venues. Today, a lot of centralized ones, but I think in the future, decentralized liquidity is going to become more important, and I'm excited to head that way as well with the product.
To the crypto,
which really speaks to me in the back end here, that here's what else we know too. That recently the SEC, Gary Gensler, Allison Herron, Hester Peirce, and Caroline Crenshaw just voted, when I played for you a month or so ago, to do what? Shorten the settlement time for derivatives and securities. Couldn't you also source the Ripple Liquidity Hub and the XRP Ledger, the decentralized exchange, to do exactly that? Well, of course you could. And they specifically said they were already indeed working on some such things with distributed ledger technology to achieve that goal for which they voted unanimously to do. So keep all of this in mind, knowing that we have this executive order now. Now, looking right here, this is a reminder I wanted to give everybody right here about the video from this morning. If you've seen it, fine, but very quickly, I do want you to know that Ashish Birla, I feel, pointed to a very big clue in his tweet, where he said one thing that stands out in the executive order acknowledgement that many in the U.S. and elsewhere are underserved by the current financial system. And then that's what this executive order says: underbanked, cross-border money transfer, payments are high, Americans underserved, traditional banking system. And then if we go in here and we look at this, you see further advancements include open payment systems like Ripple. This is from a 2016 Inspector General report for the United States Postal Service, considering the options of using something like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple to really modernize the entire postal system to banking, for which there's a pilot as well. This is a quick reminder also that in regard to the Universal Postal Union, which is the United Nations Universal Postal Union connected to 193 countries, we know that they did a test using, in fact, Ripple and XRP for the currency transfer through that network as well. So when you think about this executive order and where we're going here, I think this really gets us back on track to where we can focus on the fact that we have been on the long journey of building the market infrastructure, watching Ripple get those things done. And I believe we're very close to watching this court decision come down and possibly the Treasury come in, and we're going to see, I believe, XRP become the most compliant digital asset on the face of the planet, at least for the near term. That's what I think we're looking at, staring down the barrel of. But before we get there, we got to get here. This is Grant Van Gogh, who basically chair and CEO of Ontario Securities. And listen to what he says about crypto from the Securities Commission world, right? They consider this not real. It's decentralized, that he acknowledges, but this isn't democratized finance with crypto. This is shadow banking.
To the last financial crisis, the entire regulatory system on a worldwide basis addressed derivatives, addressed banking risks, and now this new asset class with, $2 trillion plus outstanding has emerged, and at some point it touches the real economy and financial institutions to a degree that it will become systemic. So
systemically important.
Systemically important and pose systemic risk. And I think we, as a regulatory community, have to be ready for that. And we can't afford to be behind on an issue that could be fundamental to stability.
And are you talking about it like almost like a shadow banking?
Yes.
Yes. And that is a resounding yes. He's talking about it, right? So look, at this point, it is clear to me that the regulators, whether it be a prudential regulator like the Treasury, right, and FSOC and OFAC, or whether we're talking about the market regulators, or whether we're talking about Congress, honestly, this is going to be the enforcers, all of those, to play a role to bring this power and relevancy back into the bank's hands. I just finished an incredible Link to Lunch and Learn, and I hope you were able to be a part of it. If not, they will make it available, I'm sure, the recording. Please go watch it. It was myself, digital asset investor, Rob Cunningham, Jennifer, and I forget her name, forgive me, Jennifer, but incredible insights from everyone in that conversation. And shout out to Nick and Ray and Karim and everybody that helped put it on from the Link 2 family. And I have to say, there was a point in there where we were discussing about this whole idea of where we're going to and what we're about to see. And what I believe we're about to see is that one of the big missing puzzles, as DAI talked about, was custody. And there's no problem with institutional custody, but when it comes to the retail holder, we're all trying to figure out where to be. Cold storage, hot storage, which exchange, no exchange. The truth is institutions don't have this issue. They don't have this problem, just as DAI mentioned. The bigger issue is that I believe that through this regulation, executive order, and everything that's about to roll out, this is going to put the relevancy and power and control back into the bank's hands. They've been watching their customers for over 12 years go across the street to a crypto exchange to buy Bitcoin and other cryptos. And they didn't make a dime. Right? Well, now you have the trusted name of the banks who will be able to provide custody, FDIC insured and the like. And that is going to make someone who's not a speculator or a prospector, investor in this space like you and I very, very comfortable. And to be truthful, the right bank, the right program, it'll make this guy comfortable too. Take a look right here. I wanted to show you this because this is a article I covered this morning, but I'm only showing you this because at the bottom here, John Deaton notes that although Ripple suggested in a recent court filing the SEC lawsuit could end before November 18th, the case could reach a settlement before the end of the first half of this year if the SEC also follows other U.S. allies and the way they weighed in that XRP is a non-security. So keep that in mind. But this article right here from Rosalind Layton. Now, Rosalind Layton, this is where it all started, and shout out to you, Rosalind, because Rosalind is the first person who started to pick up on what was happening with ETHgate and cited articles and videos and things that we had found from Digital Asset Investor and myself. And then Digital Asset Investor really has led this charge, and shout out to him in doing so. But I wanted to show this article here because she makes a great point here about Biden's executive order promises the world, fintech investors and innovators just want stable regulation. she goes through this, and it's a crime that I'm not able to read this to you because I don't want to go too long today, but I'm encouraging you to do it because it's on my Twitter page. But what I'll say is that she gets through this and basically acknowledging everything that's been in front of us, this whole journey and road here, to say this: if the president is not willing to back a coherent framework, there's no reason for this administrative minions to do so. With Biden punting and Congress unable to legislate, court is the last stop for justice against a runaway train of regulatory overreach. Let's hope that the cryptocurrency trial of the century ends with the judge's public decision rather than the parties settling in private. Rosalind, that is such an amazing point to make, that we don't want to see this case end without us knowing that we got the clarity that we needed and the retail investor being left in the dark. I feel exactly the way Digital Asset Investor does. I take Brad Garlinghouse at his word when he says that he won't settle without clarity for XRP. I feel exactly the same way. Now let's take a look very quickly here, because XRP is on a bullish trend is what the analysts are telling us. And one of my favorite right here along with Dark Defender is CoinsKit. And he's showing it right here. If you take a look at this right here, you can see we are looking for something's going to give one way or the other. He shows an inverted head and shoulders here. And we could see a breakout right here to the upside, testing that dollar level again. And that would be nice to see for all of us, knowing that things are starting to unfold when it comes to crypto regulations and the executive order. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Hit the links down below. They're great products and services I use each and every day. Don't forget, Ripple, tick-tock, tick-tock. It's on link to, but for how much longer before it's gone? I'll catch all of you on the next one.